have the Learning and Action Network here. We get to bring our ABFE network to meet our colleagues in DC. So I just want to say welcome.
Black lives have always mattered. From the days of the Scottsboro Boys, people were protesting in front of the White House in the 30s and 40s around that case. We know that the March on Washington in 1965 gave young people the opportunity to express the discontent that was in our community in those days. That the Million Man March in 1995, so we go from 65 to the March on Washington in 1995 to be able to again say, what can we do on behalf of our community? And if Black lives still matter in front of the White House this past fall.
There's a whole body of work going on in the field around diversity in the field of philanthropy. And there's a body of work going on in the field around men and boys of color. And rarely do those conversations come together. So it's about organizing our money, organizing our people, and ensuring that people are in the seats, but then organizing the tools and resources that we've had.
America has no frame of reference for black male achievement, collectively speaking. So stop looking for evidence, because you're not going to find it.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is to recreate the way we even determine what evidence is without being compelled to fit into the generic public health evidence-based model.
What we're trying to do is create this table to bring folks together to try to help infuse this focus on racial equity and a race and gender lens as it relates to boys and men of color.
As we have these conversations, where does sexual orientation and gender identity fit in the conversation on black men?
Similarly to how, when you look at those four meta-narratives, the one that says black men are assets is really a subset of the one of valuing all members of the human family. And so us learning how to contextualize these general values when they apply to the other, however you end up othering people, I think is the challenge that we have.
So we understand that this conversation transcends the country, it transcends the globe. So that's what this is an important discussion for us to really bring us to come to a greater understanding about, to understand where there's solutions that we can all share, we can build upon.
We were watching Baltimore happen on CNN from Bogota, and people were like, your cities are on fire. The history of the Americas is tied to a history of colonialization, exploitation, and this is where we come from, all of us. So how are we going to fix it?
What are the barriers to black male achievement? I think one of the barriers is that there are tremendous pressures on young men to do things other than pursue academic success, but not nearly enough recognition and reward for them to do so. The Institute was an effort to say, we want to recognize and reward young men who are working hard, who are doing well, and have the potential to really make a difference in society.
And I want to say thank you to ABFE because we have the conversations, we start with the conversations, and then the other part of what we're doing is also actions. But we start with those conversations that we all that are kind of buzzing and ruminating in our minds, but we may not feel that we have, sometimes it may not feel that we have the language to say it. Sometimes we may feel that we are unsafe if we say it, or sometimes we don't feel that if we say it that anything will happen. And ABFE has provided all of those things for me.
If you notice, a lot of people say, well, no, all lives matter. And there have been a lot of black communities that say, no, but we're specifically talking about black lives. And that's what happens in this country. They try to silence us, or they try to make us feel like all lives should matter when we're specifically talking about one population of people.
And particularly when we talk about the Black Male Initiative, that to be welcome in this space is different from just someone confine me. Because if I'm in hiding because of shame and blame, will the outreach efforts, not just for LGBT folks, but people who might be suffering from drug addiction and all this, where's the outreach effort? If we build it, they'll come. After we build it, then we got to get out of that house and we have to go find the folks who could benefit from these programs.
You can say that the MBK is a universal kind of approach, and a targeted Black African-American descent part of it is what we contribute, and then we're leaving space for other people to contribute their narrative.
We got to tear down the racist structures, but we also have to build up. And so this is a place for me that is very helpful.
We're so conversation driven, and we're so tired of going in circles. The selling point that I heard was, we can actually have a productive conversation about this race.
Okay.
On the other side of it, you can actually do something.
We agreed to write a meta-narrative and try to stick to it. We agreed to identify a set of indicators that we think are core across VMA initiatives. And for the first time, actually, I think, not that it has to be me, I could actually write the story.